about how your day's been so far.
Oh my God, man. Well, today specifically, I opened the kitchen. We had lunch, and then we had dinner. They're still going right now, so it's just a grind, like daily, dude. You know, I'm still there. You know, we're still like softly opening, so I'm still there all the time. I tell people all the time I moved in upstairs, but yeah, I live there. So I just came from the restaurant right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll probably go there right after this.
How long have you guys been open now?
Fuck, my buddy gives me a hard time about this. 5, 6 months, 5 months. It's tough because
It feels like
we
it's
did
been a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, 6 months is.
It's tough because we did
Baby
pop-ups
years,
in
yeah.
that space
Okay, that's
for
right.
like 2.5 months. So it kind of gets gray in between there, like how many, when we actually started, or when we came into that space. But it's just, yeah, that's crazy. Kitchen years are like dog years.
Yeah,
That's what I always say. Yeah. So 6 months, it feels like 6 years, but yeah.
Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about Bar Becky and what the ethos and the background of the food and your inspiration for it?
Yeah, man. So Bar Becky, it's named after my mom who passed away about 2 years ago, and kind of like my love letter to how I grew up, and my Italian American heritage. A lot of dishes are inspired by her and the way we cooked. It was her love language, and it's become mine. We kind of just grew up around the table. Food was like our main source of compassion, I guess you could say, or love, or when that food hit the table, kind of everything went out of the way. And it's really cool to be able to share that story. So we took over,
Mix.
Yeah, we took over Remix.
Yeah, Remix. That's
So man, you want the long story or the short story?
You can tell you the long story.
Okay. So I came off the show, and I was with my business partner, Jason, who I met at my last restaurant we were working at together in Santa Ana. I came off the show maybe 3 days after the finale, and Jason and I were shopping around our business plan. It was called Chez Becky. Something after my mom. We kind of couldn't fall on like French or really what route we wanted to go on, but we just knew we wanted to tell a story. And when I came off the show, I was in the airport, dude, on my way home from Miami. I watched the finale with Ryan. I was in the airport on my way home. I got a text from Jason, who's now my business partner, that we need to check out this location in Long Beach. I spent the whole flight, dude, looking at this restaurant, thinking about the possibilities, the open kitchen, thinking about Long Beach, because that never was my intention. And the minute I landed, I called him. I was like, bro, when can we see this? And we drove up there 2 days later, met Ross, who's now our business partner, who owns Remix. And he was looking to get out of it, and we were looking to start up. So he helped us out in a time that we could help him out. So we did a month of pop-ups, and we were able to pay rent. And the landlord started to wonder what was going on, and the community started to catch on. And then we did another month of pop-ups that went extremely well. And then we're starting to like hone in our concept and our staff, and things are starting to hit their stride. And then after that, the landlords really wanted to know how long we wanted to stay. So then we pitched it to the landlords, and they caught on, and they approved, and we opened up a week later.
Wow.
And we painted the bathrooms, and we redid the whole restaurant ourselves. Dude, I'll never forget. My brother and I went to Home Depot. We got the shiplap. We put it on top of my tiny car. We held on to it. We drove 5 miles an hour, dude, with my emergencies on, telling people to pass us. Yeah. But yeah, it really is sweat equity. Like I didn't have to put a dime in, but really now is like when the hard work pays off. So I took over something that technically at the time wasn't, I hate to use the word failing, but at the time the community just didn't click with what was going on. And I think the fact that we've been able to come in and connect with the community is what's keeping us there. And like culture between the staff and the guests that come in. but it's been a hell of a ride, dude. And I think about all the time how people open restaurants, and like I've dreamt about opening a restaurant. My goal was by the time I was 30 to own my own restaurant. And I never thought it would happen that way. And I don't think I could advise anyone that it would happen that way for them. It's just crazy and surreal. Yeah, you never know, dude. And I would just say, like, if you have something you're passionate about, like this or cooking or whatever the hell it is, like, just keep going. And if you're good at it, and if you're a good person and you make those connections, like, it's gonna happen for the right people. And
yeah, definitely.
Luckily, dude. God willing, man. Yeah.
When I was at the chef's tasting, I was noticing how you guys operate in the kitchen, and you said, building culture there.
Yeah.
And I just love the way you guys talk to each other.
Yeah.
Make everyone feel like you're just equal to each other.
Yeah.
It made me miss working in kitchens. I haven't worked in the kitchen in a while.
It's cool. It's cool.
I love the way you guys worked
together.
You.
Yeah, that's like my favorite part of what we do is like mentoring the staff, as well as, like you said, the culture. Like, we're on stage. Don't get me wrong, I've had like tough nights, and the guests are right in front of me and they order something that just ran out, or like, fuck, I just burned something like right in front of these guests. But one of my junior suit, Nathan, he always says, like, we're on stage, and he'll say it quietly, like in our ears, like, we're on stage. And it's important just to remember that, and like be mindful, and how we talk to each other, like that old school, like, yeah, okay, working for Gordon Ramsay or whatever, being on the show or being around that, and fuck, man, I got yelled at. I got called a sack of shit on a hot day, and things I would never say to people. And it's crazy to think about the culture we've set, and I appreciate you recognizing that. Because that's super important. Nobody wants to come to work and get yelled at, and they need to be in a collaborative space where everybody can put their input in. Owning a restaurant, dude, I've learned, like, I can't control everything as much as I want to, and you think you will. The quicker you find out, like, when you hire talented staff and you let them do what they're meant to do,
trusting them.
Man. That's, for me, that's been quite the learning experience too. Like with my sous chef now, I've stepped back so much, and then to watch her like grow more when I step back, it's a double-edged sword, because you want to be hard on them, right? Mentor them, kind of old school. You think that, but when you step back and you see them flourishing more, it's like, damn, okay, maybe I need to just like let that person do them. And it's been quite the learning, humbling, dude.
That's
extremely
awesome.
Humbling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It can be quite hard to trust people to
oh my God,
just let them fly, let them do their thing.
No, I mean, it takes a lot.
Yeah, it takes courage.
Yeah, it takes a lot to gain my trust. But yeah, I think if and it's a reflection of me too, right?
Exactly.
If I'm able to give the people these tools to succeed, and I set them up, like, their life should be easy. And really, I tell these guys all the time, like, I want them to leave and open up a restaurant better than mine, and I will fucking be there day one.
Hell yeah.
And I will have no more greater joy than seeing these people be more successful than me. The last thing I want is them to put my name on their resume and go get a job, and people laugh at that. Like, so it is a challenge for me, but as a dad, I think that's like my favorite part of what we do, is like mentoring my staff, and they're like my friends, my sisters, my brothers. I call them all the time brothers and sisters, and my kids, and we are family. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's important.
It's really good to hear that chefs want to support their own employees to like doing their own thing, like opening a restaurant one day. Because a lot of chefs want to keep that. No restaurants.
And I always tell my guys too, like, we love Bar Becky, especially opening it. In the first 6 months, you get so involved in like taking pictures or setting standards. Oh, maybe we should try this. And I tell these guys, like, when you get out of here and you take your chef coat off, like, you're a normal person. This isn't your only identity. Even myself, like, even I got to be a dad, a boyfriend, a son, a brother. I have good friends, so it's like trust me, I bleed Bar Becky, but that can't be your only identity.
Yeah,
or you're just gonna
tear yourself apart.
Yeah.
I noticed that you have records in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And, those some of your favorites?
Those are Chef Jason's, actually.
Okay,
He's got some great taste in
I was
music.
like Radiohead, Wilco,
and
like,
Prince.
let's go.
Yeah, he's got the Prince in there too. Yeah, he just,
like,
that's like, ownership, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It shows up. He's like, I want to put these up. Okay, put them up, and he puts them up, and the tins in the restaurant are from my mom. Awesome. The picture at the bar is from my grandparents' house growing up. But yeah, that's all Jason. Yeah, it's crazy. He's so quiet, and he hates doing things like this and like putting himself out there. If you look online, there's literally no pictures of him.
He's awesome. I remember him.
He's
cool.
fantastic, man. And I couldn't do what I do without him. And in a way, he allows me to, be his partner and do what and have my vision, but also mentors me. And I couldn't do it without him. So I know he's quiet, and I got the neck tattoos and he's got the sweater on, but it works. And I love him to death. And I hope he's watching this, and I hope he sees this and thinks about that sweater in this heat.
That's funny. Let's get a little bit into the cooking realm.
Yeah.
So what were some of the inspirations, when you decided to build out this restaurant, and, from your mom?
Yeah.
Like where did these dishes come to mind when you're like, building out the menu?
Yeah. Well, when I was about 25, I was sous chef for Mar Santana in Laguna Beach at this small restaurant called Broadway. And they have a chef's counter. They're about 60 seats. And really the formula for me at Bar Becky kind of mirrors like what I was doing there for him. And it's just like interactions and storytelling. I think the food just tastes better when a guy in a chef coat is telling you why it's so fucking good. And it's such a missed. I get so mad at staff when they just drop a plate off and they don't explain it. Like for me, every dish has a story, dude. And my mom's carrots, like chicken parm, like sure, it's just chicken parm. But for me, it like reminds me of when I came out of culinary school, and my grandparents were like, wanted me to cook them a fancy dinner. And like, that's the first technique I whipped out. And I think it's important for me and Jason with the cocktail list and the wines. Like we tell a lot of stories, and I think that goes beyond like feeding your stomach.
It does.
And it's
sensory, but it's also memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's that when someone eats moment.
Yeah. When people eat something, if you're telling a story behind the dish, it makes them think about something maybe that happened in their life or they ate in a certain moment in it.
Yeah. People come to eat to escape. And they don't come to my restaurant or anyone's restaurant. They don't come because necessity. If you need food, you can go get some top ramen, you heat it up, and you're full and you're fine. But when people go to restaurants, they want to escape what's going on. And for me, it's an opportunity to help them enter my world and hear my stories and forget about the BS that's going on out there. And if I'm able to do that for like, even 5 minutes, like I'm cool with that. I've done my job. And just the impact on people's lives, like telling my stories. I live a dream, dude, that most chefs seek their whole life for. Like a lot of chefs could open up any concept. Any talented chef could go open up a Mexican restaurant, a bar, a brewery, whatever. But to be able to tell my story about my family and like get my mom's name on it is wild. And
that's very special.
Yeah. I don't take that for granted. Ever, dude. I tell my kids all the time, my mom passed away 2 years ago. It's still like pretty fresh. And I tell my kids who are still like processing what's going on, I tell them all the time, like I get to talk about grandma and I get to tell her story, and I take a lot of pride in that. Yeah, shit, man.
And also feed your kids too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What your mom made you.
Yeah,
I feel like that's important. It's passing, generation.
Because that's where I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like these carrots. But I'll just mention the carrots.
Carrots are amazing.
One of my favorite dishes, dude. And the smell literally reminds me of my kitchen as a kid growing up. It's like maple. My mom called them burnt carrots, dude. She would take these like shit little carrot sticks and just brown sugar and maple and just caramelize the shit out of them. And so on Hell's Kitchen, we did a dish with a ravioli filled with a glazed carrot because Gordon didn't want to use the word burnt. And then when we opened up, I served him to Brian Addison. And what did he say? He said, it lacked gravity in the best way possible. And I had to text him. I said, what the fuck does lack gravity mean? And he goes, it means you're not a douchebag. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was just cool to have people understand the story too. So yeah, it's special, man.
Those are interesting.
Yeah. It lacked gravity. I was like, damn, is this good? Is this bad? Like, should I? So yeah, Brian's a great friend. I'm sure you know Brian.
Bears a lot of weight.
Yeah, man. Oh my God, please. They're just carrots. They're just carrots and brown sugar, a little vinegar, and that's a special
dish. It's made
with
love. That's all you gotta say about that.
Yeah,
they're delicious. I enjoyed them.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also the meatballs.
Oh my God,
the meatballs! I'm like everyone. You gotta order the meatballs. I know, like they're just meatballs, but like these aren't just meatballs. You know what I mean? These are scratch meatballs.
Yeah, man. We're big on that.
And
like,
they're like
when we spoke about putting like red tablecloth stuff on, kind of, and meatballs were one of the first ones, and we are not a big batch restaurant. We don't serve the masses. We don't heat up big batches and cool down. Like when we get an order meatballs, we cook them and you get them right away. And I take a lot of pride in that. For a dish that's so simple, I think you have to nail it. And
exactly.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm super proud of those meatballs. It's crazy. Yeah,
I'm proud too.
Thank
they're
you.
really good.
Thank you, chef. Thank you, man.
How much is your tasting menu? If like you want to buy, if someone
125.
125. Okay, everybody.
Get in.
125 is not that lot of money for a tasting menu. No. That's a great deal. And you will leave full. I promise you that.
Thank you.
And the food is excellent.
Thank you.
Like, really, take my word. Please go to Bar Becky and go to the chef's table.
Thank you.
You will have a really great time.
Appreciate that, man. We interact. We tell the stories and we change the menu every week, dude. Like today's Sunday, I wrote the menu for next week. I'm gonna put it out tomorrow on Instagram. That's usually like kind of become our routine. Is Monday I'll release it. And dude, if I want to change it on Thursday, I'll change the whole thing. I had a guest come in on fucking Friday, man. I had a guest come in on Friday and they said, how often do you change it? Every day, dude, every day. If you come tomorrow, I'll change it tomorrow. They're like, oh, really? Where do we make reservations? Haha, yeah, sure. On their way out, man, they booked reservations. So the staff starts scrambling, dude. And I go out and talk to a table. The staff starts scrambling, writing a menu. Chef. I come back. They're like, chef, they actually booked it. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. No, what are we going to do? Don't worry. I'll figure it out. And so they couldn't believe that I didn't want to go to that. I went to sleep that night, not knowing, woke up in the morning, came early, picked some cool shit, had some cool stuff sent. We did a whole new menu for those two people. And we handwrit the menu for them. And to me, that's a connection that will last a lifetime.
Yeah.
Those people will come forever and they will tell their friends and they will tell the community. And that to me is like, I could have served them anything, dude.
Yeah.
That's like, even just, they thought they were getting the same menu. And just to do that, I think is cool.
Make something special for them.
Yeah.
The last time I was there, I think this was a really special moment. This kid had a Caesar salad the last time he ate at your restaurant.
Yeah.
And you didn't have Caesar salad on the chef's tasting.
Yeah.
And you let him make a Caesar salad.
He made it last time.
Yeah.
So his parents, dude, were great regulars at my last restaurant. They supported us through the pop-ups, and they brought their kids in, and he couldn't sit at the chef's counter because he wasn't tall enough. It wasn't like, I'm cool with kids sitting at the chef's counter. I'm gonna treat them the same way as a millionaire. And they couldn't sit, and he was so bummed. And my brother comes back, and I was in the back in dry store, like the one area we have to hide, and he's like, hey, this kid's upset, like I don't know what you can do for him. And it just clicked real quick. I like walked over, I asked him if he wanted to come help me, and he came over, and it just like made sense to have him like put gloves on, throw the lettuce in the bowl, mix it up, and shave the cheese in, crack the pepper. And just that, like, his parents were taking pictures, and like his mom was crying at the end of the night. And for me, it was like just a cool moment with the kid. Like, I didn't really think past it. And yeah, like you said, his parents have said he's had a Caesar salad at every restaurant they go at now. And then when he came in, there was no Caesar on the menu, and he showed me that picture of him making the Caesar salad. And so he came, I was like, dude, come on, you got to come back here again. And then he made it. again, yeah, that for me. That's what makes the grind worth it, dude.
You're making memories for your guests.
Yeah, yeah. Even Caesar salad, like forget me, dude. I don't care if that kid remembers me or Becky or what we're doing. Like that kid will remember that Caesar salad and will think of my dumb beard and something when that comes up, and that's like beyond food.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly. When yeah, more than being a chef and a business owner, it's just like feeds my soul too to do that and impact that kid's life.
There's a book, it's I forgot who wrote it, but it's someone from 11 Madison Park, and it's a book about hospitality. And one time they had, this goes like above and beyond, like you have to have money obviously to do this kind of stuff, but these guests come in with their kids and they've never seen snow before, and they had to leave soon, so he got a limo to take them to go ice skating for the first time ever after their dinner.
Okay, I am not purchasing a limo for you guys.
This might be drawn out, but it is 11 Madison Park. No. But it's like making like the extra effort to make a special moment.
You watched The Bear, right?
I haven't watched the last season yet.
Okay, well the second season, when Cousin gets the cheesesteak. What is that called in Michelin? Storytelling.
Yeah.
When I hired my sous chef, the reservations, man, I look them up. I know who they are most of the time. I like to look them up personally. I don't train the staff to do that.
That's part, it's very important.
Yeah, it's important to me.
Yeah.
And it's not something I standardize to everyone that we have to do this. It's important to me as a business owner to make those connections and to know these people. And my staff was like blown away, like little things like, oh, she's old, we have so much like community built around our restaurant. Barbara came tonight. Barbara Slinglove, her husband eats no dairy. She comes in all the time. Wayne and Kelly bring us tomatoes from their backyard. They're on the menu. They're in the marinara. They're in the tomato gravy. We have Nathan. It's a great regular. He came for dinner, then he came for lunch the next day with his kids. Like that's what's keeping me pushing to do more. It's like I think Orange County, dude, being a kid from Huntington, like my dream was always to bring that to Huntington. My dream was to be the chef, to be willing to, and I talk about on the show too, be willing to be the one in Huntington Beach to break the mold and to do that. And to be honest with you, if we opened Bar Becky in Huntington Beach, it wouldn't fucking make sense to those people, and it wouldn't be appreciated, and it wouldn't be spoken about the way it is in the community of Long Beach. And now I never really want to open a restaurant in Huntington Beach. I mean, maybe a coffee shop or something one day, but it's not my intention. Like if someone handed me a blank check, I would just renovate the kitchen I'm at right now. Like I call that my baby. And it really is. And the community is just like, it just keeps me going, dude. Like it's special, and you know it, and I'm new to it, and it is really cool to be a part of. I don't take that for granted at all. And I get the biggest smile on my face driving away from Huntington Beach into right off Lakewood Boulevard.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Fuck.
Well, it's good to have you here in Long Beach, and thanks for being a part of the community.
Yeah, man. It's wild to why are you thanking me? Like people, you know what I mean? Thank you, dude. Thank Linecheck. Thank people like, Philip Pretty has like, opened his arms to me. His phone line's always open. I'll name drop Brian Addison, changed our trajectory. James from LB Food Coma, just like, just people in this community are special. And you know that, and people from here know that, and I'm learning that, and I'm just thankful that you guys have accepted me into it, and just like super stoked that when I think about the future and like where we could go, and just like building my brand in Long Beach and being a part of the community is fucking rad, dude. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So you see all these cameras around here?
Yeah.
What was it like being filmed on Hell's Kitchen?
Is that why it's so hot?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great, dude. It changed my life. It changed my life. It was super awesome. I always said, I never wanted to be too old before I was successful, so my parents could see it. And my mom was on the show. She got to see the finale. Gordon invited my daughter. Cooking for chefs like Aaron Franklin, cooking for, you know, Michelin star chefs was crazy. To get the recognition I got was crazy. I went in there saying, dude, if I go home week 1, like, at least I made it.
Yeah.
At least I'm here. And I ended up getting a perfect score day 1. And from that point on, I just stayed humble and cooked good food. And I tried to keep my mouth shut. And it was just a wild ride, man. I'm super thankful for it. I wouldn't change anything. But just now, as the older and further away I get from it, being a business owner now, it's just I tend to like look back on it. It's so funny because leaving the show, you're like, man, this is everything. And now as I get older, it's like, this was what, maybe 4 years ago we shot it, and it aired 2 years ago. So it's just, you know, it's a great platform to use, and it changed my life. It helped people take me seriously. It helped me kind of break that mold from like being a sous chef, a CDC, you know, working under these cool chefs at these restaurants. It helped like those chefs I was working for really take me seriously. And just to step out on my own was a confidence builder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's tough to do that. Not everyone can just jump on television and also perform.
Yeah. I got a great edit. I won't lie. I got a really great edit. First couple weeks really was about like my story. Fox did a great job of talking about, you know, my family. And yeah, I got a good edit, dude. I can't lie. Awesome. Some people didn't get a good edit. I got a good one.
I've never watched Hell's Kitchen before. But you know what's funny is
you have to.
On my TV, it's like kind of like a weird cable box that's already inserted into the TV.
Yeah.
But every time I turn on my TV, it's always Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
But like it's just like repeat.
My season?
No, it's just repeats like old seasons.
Old school.
It's like I don't even know, and I like watch it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, and then I'll like take it. But I'm like,
I didn't think it was real, man. When they reached out, like you said, it's been around for so long. It's like, oh, you know, we're casting Hell's Kitchen. It's like, yeah, okay, lady, all right. It's like, no, can you hop on a phone call? It's like, sure, hop on a phone call with a casting company, and it led to like another producer, led to like the executive producers, and yeah, man, I didn't think it was really gonna happen either, and I didn't think I would make it the way I made it. I didn't, like you said, I didn't think I would be so calm. You never know how you're gonna react on camera. But I just tried to stay true to myself, and I fucking ate it up. Like for some, like I love, like a young, you know, you're young and you think you're something, and you cook a couple good dishes, and I love the camera.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had a good time. It was really fun. It definitely will be a rocking chair moment with my grandchildren type shit. Yeah.
Would you recommend like other cooks to jump on the show, jump on any kind of like cooking television if they have aspirations?
It's tough because I push my cooks a lot to like not shy away from the opportunity that it offers, but I don't think you need to stress about it or strive for it. So I see both sides of it. I have like former cooks who will come up to me and be like, hey, I'm trying to get on this. I'm trying, like, they push hard for it. And those guys, I tell them, like, just cook. Just cook. But I think if you're in a spot to do it, and you're in this place in your career where you kind of want to, you have something to prove or you want to step out, then it's a great platform. But I don't think it's like
necessary.
No.
I mean, I've never wanted to be on any of the shows, but everyone's like, you should be on the show,
bro. You have a great personality.
I don't know if I want to be on.
It's really freestyling.
Yeah.
Can you think quickly? Can you adapt quickly?
Can you make family meal?
Yeah. and you have a couple cool techniques in your pocket you can pull out. Like I made a crab cake near the end with like plantains and like, you know, lime segments, avocado, whatever. And they cut out completely that it was a live Dungeness crab that I broke down.
Dang.
Yeah, they cut that out completely, bro. And I took the pasta water that was there. I took the racks out. I fucking picked the whole thing, and they make it look like I just used crab.
Wow.
So it's great in, you know.
Television edits.
Yeah. And you try to stay true to your integrity. Like, I used my tweezers. I found the micros. Always heated my plates up. It's like, nobody gave me, this is how you cook on TV. It's like, this is how I cook in a restaurant. Real life. So why wouldn't I cook this way?
Exactly.
And yeah. And there was one time we had no salamander in the kitchen of all of Hell's Kitchen. There's no Sally. And like, we're trying to melt shit and the wood fire oven's on behind me. And like, I just put it in the deck and let it kind of bubble away. And, it came out beautifully. And even Gordon was like, how did you do that? I was like, so I put it in the deck oven. Like, yeah. I actually cook food.
Yeah.
And, Gordon, fuck. That was one moment when Gordon said, you're 28 years old, but it's like you've been cooking for 28 years. And, I left his office, the cameras are following you and stuff. And, the camera at that moment, the cameras went away, and that just like was like surreal. Maybe someone told him to say that, maybe I don't know, but it felt genuine, and it really helped me gain my confidence and put myself out there.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Definitely needed. I mean, I have moments where I don't feel confident, and but I just try to do what I try to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's hard to find your confidence. I am confident.
No.
But, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it needs a little.
I think keep doing what you're doing. But at the end of the day, like if you're looking for that reassurance, like that's a good place. Yeah. Like if there's one point you hit in your career where it's like, man, I'd love to just go see where I level up, and you'd be surprised. Like, I think you're your hardest critic, myself included. All chefs really are your hardest critic. And to put it into perspective, like when you take your ego out of it and someone's tasting the love you put into it, or your creativity, or everything you worked hard for to get to that point, and you aren't able, they don't know you, they know nothing about you, where you came from, and it puts it into perspective. And I think that's a good I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but heat check, if you will, like
line check.
Yeah, line check. Yeah, see where you're at. Check your muscles. Like, see your new PR. Push yourself. And Gordon, there was one time I made a scallop escabeche, and in my head I knew I wanted to make an escabeche with like purple cauliflower. I'd made it before, and it was like this beautiful broth. And we had a scallop challenge. In my head, I'm like, fuck it, this fits perfect. And Gordon, when he tasted it, he was like, what made you think of that? And I was like, I'm not here to like to go easy. Like, I'm here to take challenges and push myself. And he was like, man, it paid off. And there were real moments off camera when I got my black jacket first. That was when you go from red team, blue team to black jackets. For those who don't know, this was probably my highest high. Gordon tastes 4 dishes. Then he gets my dish. He takes like 2 bites of it. And as I'm walking back, he's like, young man, I won't taste any more. And he gives me my black jacket, dude. They cut all this out, bro. I took my black jacket. He said, say goodbye. You don't know who you're going to see. I gave everyone a group hug. I turned the corner, dude. I hit my knees, and I started screaming as hard as I could. I started like, yes, crying, screaming, dude, this moment. And they showed none of that. And it's fucking crazy. They cut all that out.
Why?
I know, man. The realness, the rawness of me, like really,
it's like winning a fight or winning a race.
I used to put these chefs who wear those chef's coat on such a pedestal, and like to be the first one that day. My day was over. It was 10 in the morning, dude, and I was wearing a black jacket while the rest of my cast. I sat in this room that was called the lounge, and the rest of my cast I had to watch on a TV. All of them freak out all day. And the guy who ended up beating me, he was the last one to get his jacket, and we're sitting there watching it. It's like, dude, it's just surreal. Like, even right now talking about it, dude, like it's I've reached this point in my life where I have everything I've ever wanted, like my family, my friends, my restaurant, my business partner, my kids, my girlfriend. And now I'm just in this point where I just need to be grateful and just continue to impact other people's lives now. And I just am like so floored with being humbled by this whole experience. It's like I couldn't ask for more. Like, I don't know Yeah, I'm at a loss. I'll mumble on about
awesome.
this.
No, I feel you. It's like, like I said, it's like winning a race or like winning that fight that you've been training for your whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that feeling. I've done both those things.
yeah.
But that's basically, I know exactly. I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna get to a real fun question.
Please.
What is your favorite in the weeds story?
Oh my God, me or someone else? Like when I'm in the weeds?
Yeah, when you're in the weeds, or
because I live my life not going in the weeds. Like that's my main purpose.
Stories from when you're younger than you remember?
Yeah, I mean, shit. Even today, man. We read the menu as Becky's. Fuck, I'll be honest. We read the menu as Becky's favorite chips, and we had run out of Lay's today, so we ended up using our family meal potato chips. Fuck, I've kicked guys out before. I'm trying to think of the best one, because I've watched the show and I've definitely been thinking about this moment. The best one, I don't know. We used to play a lot of tricks at Broadway. Amar was real funny. We used to play a lot of tricks. So one time he put a whole sizzle tray of kosher salt in the back of my oven, and we're going through service. It's like, what's burning, man? What's burning? It's smoking. And you look over and Amar's just laughing. He's got this giggle. He's like, hee hee hee. And he's got his ponytail and he's just laughing and he's kissing babies. It's like, what the fuck is in there, man? You think it's like, oh, it's just oil. Cool. And you keep going like, oh yeah, fire. And you got to keep going. You got to keep moving and you don't even have time. And you look back there and you're like, fuck, man, something that's not oil, dude. You pull out a whole sheet tray of salt. Man, I don't know. I live in the weeds. I don't know, man. Every day.
Every day is
it's about adapting. Yeah. That's what we're lucky we get to change our menu every day. It's like, oh, something didn't show up. Okay, we'll just fucking change it. We print new menus. Yeah, I think my least proudest moment in the weeds probably was kicking one of my sous chefs out at a hotel I worked at in Huntington Beach. It was like a banquet, and I used to get so pissed why I was working at the restaurant in the hotel, but the banquet would come out of my restaurant, but they had a banquet department. So, it's like, where's the salmon, chef? Where's the salmon? And my sous chef was taking care of it all day. It's like, I don't know. Ask him. I go back there and he's like cooking fresh salmon to order. And I was like, what the fuck? It escalates. Obviously, I'm like, yo, what is this, dude? Like, and it escalates again. And like, yo, hey, chef, where's the salmon? Like, I need salmon. And I'm not proud of it, man, but everything went white. And I remember asking him to not so kindly get all his shit and get the hell out of there. And we had to have a real heart-to-heart the next day about it. I'm not proud of it. And I make a conscious effort to not speak to people like that. Yeah, man, I'm stressed.
I've been there before.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not. It's not. Yeah, I don't have. I mean, I just try not to be that person anymore. You're like, it's like you watch Hell's Kitchen or you want to be like Gordon Ramsay when you're younger, and you think that's like the thing. And that's what I thought it was when I got like a head chef position.
But we're the new generation, man.
I don't want to be that person. I'm not proud of.
Nobody wants to work for that
kicking
guy.
Somebody out.
Yeah. This industry's tough already, dude. And we get kicked and we come back the next day, we get burned, we get cut, we come back the next day, and no one wants to come work for that person. They want to work for the opposite. Who's going to make them better, who's going to empower them and gas them up. And I said that's like a big one in my kitchen is gas me up. Like we always say that, like when you're plating something, it's like, yo, gas me up. Like, like holy shit. And something my line cook does 100 times. We sell this cavatelli. We've sold, dude, thousands of them, and they still hit the table, and I think they look amazing, and I gas her up all the time. And I think it's this new generation of not being in the weeds if possible, and
helping each other out.
Yeah,
it's not just your station anymore. It's everyone's station.
Everyone's chef.
Yeah, exactly.
So we all handle, we have our stations, but when a table comes in, like we all lend support. And yeah, you can. That's cool that you notice that. You know what I mean? That means a lot that you notice that. Yeah. It just makes you want to come back the next day and the next day, and then it makes you want to strive for your goals. Like, my line cooks are young. Like, what's going to keep them engaged and growing, and help the business grow as well as them growing at the same time, beyond Bar Becky.
Yeah.
So it's fun, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy what you're doing. I'm really
thank you.
Happy to have you here in the community, and I'm glad all of Long Beach is, supporting you. It's
thank you, guys.
It's very important to, and I love Long Beach, born and raised here, and it's really fun to see the kitchen culture growing here and the food culture growing, and I think it's just gonna keep going from here. And with the addition of Bar Becky, Heritage getting their second one.
Damn, you just put us in the same sentence.
All that,
Oh shit!
Like I did, a lot of good things are happening here, and I'm very proud
happy to be a part of it. Yeah, man. You could see the whatever you want to call it, the revolution, or you could see people finally taking Long Beach serious, and I thank Philip for that, and all the chefs before who have grinded to get me to a place where I'm able to come into a community like this is really cool. So I don't take it for granted at all. It's surreal, dude. Imposter syndrome is real, and I have to remind myself constantly that
I have it too.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
We're vulnerable. We're also people at the end of the day. We're not just like macho chefs,
Oh man, when you watch Hell's Kitchen, you'll see how vulnerable I am. I cry at least every episode. I'm big.
I probably cry too. That's how I go one hearts.
No, I'm big on expressing yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not into that whole toxic masculinity BS. I definitely express myself on air, and you see it in people who are watching this who know me. It's definitely understand how much I cry.
It's good to cry. Everyone should cry, honestly.
I'll probably cry after this.
Anyways, that's all the time we have for today. It was real good to have you on the show.
Yeah, man.
Everybody, if you have not been to Bar Becky, please go. Tell them that Linecheck sent you.
Yeah. Brandon sent you.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.